Hello and welcome to National Focus for Thursday, June 13, 2024. I am Adicia Burton. In the headlines, Department of Social Services launches communication campaign. Education Minister highlights progress in education. And Member of Parliament for Petite Savanne urges preparedness for hurricane season. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. In an effort to generate greater national awareness of their programs and services, the Department of Social Services has launched a communication campaign.
This event is the first of its kind and signals a new commitment by the department to dispel certain public misunderstanding on the role and responsibility of the Department of Social Services, which over the years was under the name Welfare Division. One of the primary goals of today's communication campaign is to help raise national awareness of the social protection programs and other services provided by the Department of Social Services to vulnerable, underprivileged, and/or distressed individuals, children, and families throughout Dominica.
The communication campaign will be coordinated jointly with the International Organization for Migration, IOM, under the umbrella of a larger project.
IOM involvement is part of a wider funding agreement which is geared at enhancing social protection services for the local migrant communities. The project is titled Improving Social Protection for Local Migrant Communities in Dominica. One of the objectives is to improve services delivery to victims of gender-based violence, child abuse, mental health, and substance abuse. The national theme for this communication campaign is Quality Service and Partnership in Nation Building. This theme emphasizes the department's role in providing quality service to the general public and the constant need to form partnerships for better delivery of service.
Honorable Edwards detailed the strategy that will be employed to meet the goals of the newly launched campaign.
A variety of communication tools and approaches is expected to be utilized, such as prepared press releases, brochures, social media graphics, flyers, website, landing page, webinars, and public service announcements, and the use of radio and television platforms. The listed tools will form the platform for the communication campaign.
The communication campaign is also poised to redefine the image of the Department of Social Services.
There are certain misconceptions by certain individuals which have resulted in criticisms which are unwarranted. This, therefore, necessitates the communication campaign in partnership with the International Organization of Migration, IOM, to generate awareness of the department programs and services and to help revert negative stereotypes, which with hope of enhancing public knowledge and attitudes towards the work being undertaken by the department.
Project coordinator of IOM, Vinliz Daly, emphasized the importance of communication in their field of work.
We must continue to engage the public, to listen, and to communicate effectively. Communication is the cornerstone of social protection. It ensures that those who need help know where and how to get it, and also ensures victims of abuse are able to relay their circumstances, the vital first step towards enabling them to access the help they need.
The Department of Social Services remains committed to enhancing awareness of the programs and services offered within Dominica. The Pickering Football Club of Ontario has announced that the current Kinsman Turf Field located in North Vancouver, Canada, will be renamed in honor of Canadian soccer player of Dominican heritage, Jade Revere, whose father is originally from Goodwill. Jade, who plays soccer internationally for the Women's Super League club Manchester United and the Canadian Nationals women's team, is setting a stellar example for young football players here and abroad. The club is proudly recognizing Jade's significant contributions and legacy with an official field naming event on June 18. Jade continues to set a great example for our Dominican football players and soccer fans in general. The Ministry of Education continues to record progress in various aspects of education. Minister for Education, the Honorable Octavia Alfred, has disclosed the country's emergence as the region's best practice leader in the 4-H movement.
As you can see now, we have all of these booklets that we have for 4-H. How to organize a 4-H club, we have a manual for that. We also have here the 4-H, the meetings, leaders meetings, how to conduct 4-H meetings. We have here voluntary service, how to help the 4-H members to find joy in volunteering, which is very important now. And we have the guidelines for the officers of 4-H, how the officers. So we had our culinary arts competition took place at grammar school. We had public speaking. We had a team of students and their parents who went to St. Lucia over the Easter holidays. And what we have now is that we have other countries from the OECS will be sending down students and trainers to Dominica so they can learn from us how to do their 4-H because I want to commend the work of Mr. Bert Paul. We have come a long way. So far we have come that now Dominica is number 2 in the region, only second to Jamaica.
The objective of the 4-H movement is to teach life skills to youth with much emphasis on agriculture, cooking and crafts, as well as formulating and nurturing skills like public speaking, leadership and other life skills. It is an informal form of education to supplement and complement education at school, church and home.
So our 4-H is making big progress, and now we are becoming the place for best practices where other countries are going to come over the summer to learn from us for 4-H. So that is also a big thing going on.
Dominica has also recently renewed its agreement with the Academy of Martinique.
The Academy of Martinique is an organization that helps in school exchange between Dominica and Martinique. We also help in teacher. They help us to train our French teachers, and it gives Dominicans who are good enough in French the opportunity to go to Martinique to do their bachelor's degree in whatever subject, but they have to be competent, a certain level of competency in the French language.
The Honourable Minister says there has also been good progress to report as regards to national assessment.
The national assessment we did for grade 2 and grade 4, which would normally be done in October, went very well. So now we are analyzing the results, and schools will get their results, and we will look at the common weaknesses and group them, and so that we can have them prepare remedial programs for the students before they return in September. So I just want to say that that went well, because normally the exam would be done when the children return in September, and by the time you do the paper, correct the papers and analyze them, it's already December, and they're already from grade 2, they're already in grade 3. By the time you get how to remediate their weakness, it's already February in the other year. So we are glad that we did that. I'm happy for the cabinet decision that we took to move the exams to May so that we can have enough time.
The objective of the Ministry of Education is not about comparing students' abilities, but identifying weaknesses and introducing programs to address them.
But the Ministry of Education has taken it one step further, because every time we talk about special education and remedial, we always think about the slow students. And we fail sometimes to cater for the gifted students. So you might find that if there's a child who did a grade 2 national assessment and 100% in everything, you have to prepare a program for that child to challenge that child. But we always keep preparing programs to bring up the weaker ones, but sometimes we do not do enough in encouraging the brighter ones. And sometimes if you don't do that, people label them as being troublesome, because as the teacher put the work on the board, they finish, Mr. I'm through. and then they start knocking their pencil on the table and they become troublesome. So we have to put programs in place to challenge them. Otherwise, we might find our gifted students going right back to being average students because we didn't challenge them.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Ride safe, wear a helmet, safer roads in the nature aisle. This message was brought to you by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Welcome back. Minister for Finance, the Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, says accessing climate finance from development partners is of utmost importance. The minister says this is so particularly given the existential threats faced by Dominica and other small island developing states due to negative climate impacts. Dominica is preparing a proposal to be submitted to the Green Climate Fund for a $40 million project for coastal zone management.
The concept note for this project was developed with leadership input from the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy, the Forestry Division of the Ministry of the Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, over 100 civil society organizations and non-government organizations, business service organizations, and the private sector. In this new phase of full proposal development, we are once again actioning national stakeholders, this broad coalition of all sectors of the Dominican society, in a process of national engagement to achieve the optimal outcome as we continue our nation's journey to be the world's first climate resilient nation.
The outcome of deliberations from a workshop here this week is expected to impact the full proposal to be developed.
Let me take the opportunity to draw your attention to 2 additional Green Climate Fund projects being developed, for which the government and Commonwealth of Dominica will need your full participation and engagement. The first is the multi-country initiative with the 5 Cs and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal, titled Developing Climate Resilient Urban Development Initiative. This initiative will focus on, among other things, support for the undergrounding of utilities, food protection, financial modeling for the urban regeneration, and appropriate municipal designs for Roseau, its suburban surroundings, and the towns of Portsmouth as well. This project will kick off during the week of June 20th, 2024. An inception meeting will be held, followed by a 2-day workshop.
There is also the Blue Co project, a co-investment platform that will stimulate the blue economy and bridge the climate financing gap in the Caribbean.
It is also a multi-country project led by the Caribbean Development Bank and to be implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy once again. This project will, among other things, deliver a national blue economy master plan and framework, and importantly develop a pipeline of investment projects in the blue economy for financing and implementation.
The Honourable Minister says the government of Dominica is moved and inspired by the passion and commitment of stakeholders to national transformation, resilience and development.
Dominica, as a small island developing state, has already set the goals and has already been leading from the front with CREED, that is our Climate Resilience Execution Agency of Dominica. CREED no longer exists, but however, the resilience unit lies within the Ministry of Finance, which I head. Now, we've done quite a bit of work. CREED is spoken all over internationally, and the reason for this is because the planning that was put into it. There were 2 guiding documents that guides our resilience efforts here in Dominica. That's the NRDS, that's the National Resilience Development Strategy, and the CRRP, that's the Climate Resilience and Recovery Plan. With those 2 guiding documents, we've been able to achieve quite a bit let alone the accolades that we receive internationally, that everywhere we go, at every climate conference, Dominica must be referenced for its work that has been done with CREED and its 2 guiding documents. We've been leading from the front. We want to continue leading from the front. So such an engagement here today, all the deliberations here today, is just a continuation of what we've been doing to become the world's first climate resilient country.
Citizens are further advised to continue preparations for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, which commenced on the 1st of June. Despite the current sunny weather and no severe weather warnings issued, it is essential to remain vigilant and strengthen preparation plans in case of any unexpected late-season weather events. Member of Parliament for the Petite Savanne constituency, Honourable Jolan Defoe, is confident that his constituents will do what is necessary to be prepared.
As Pal Rep, I always play my part in advocating that our residents follow all of the precautions and the safety tips that are put out there by the ODM and other relevant organizations. And I say relevant because, there are organizations and institutions that are authorized to put out, such types of notices, and the ODM being a key one. And take people to take heed, follow instructions, follow the preparation tips. And these things are recurring because then we can become complacent because we hear them over and over. But I think with the experience that individuals have had with Maria right now, I'm not too concerned about people, taking heed. I think we have learned our lesson, and I'm confident that people will continue to follow all the tips and guidelines, especially if we have an impending weather condition approaching.
This season has already been predicted to be an above-average season. NOAA is forecasting a range of 17 to 25 named storms, winds of 39 miles per hour or higher. Of those, 8 to 13 are forecast to become hurricanes, winds of 74 miles per hour or higher, including 4 to 7 major hurricanes, category 3, 4, or 5, with winds of 111 miles per hour or higher. Coming up next, the Creole News highlights with Jenno Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en créole, nom monsieur Jenno Jacob. Gouvernement Dominique a fait effort pour aider le développement de tous les enfants à l'école. Le gouvernement a bâti au moins 6 écoles, 9 en différents villages. L'éducation des enfants Dominique est importante en développement pays. En toute l'école, il y a une légion qui est plus savant que les autres. Le ministère de l'Éducation, Honorable Octavia Alfred dit, le ministère de l'Éducation a un plan pour aider les enfants à l'école.
Beaucoup de fois en Dominique, nous avons toujours gardé pour ces enfants-là qui slow, qui below. Et bien, nous avons fait un programme pour nous mener nous monter. Mais les enfants qui plus intelligents, passer l'âge, passer classe là, nous ne pouvons pas faire rien pour aider. Et bien, nous avons dit, habitant. Parce que c'est pas habitant. Avant, tu as mis travail là sur Blackboard là, j'avais fini avec ça. Et bien, actuellement, il y a un dessin, il y a un mode pencil, il y a embêté l'autre là. Mais nous avons aussi en ministre là, nous avons regardé comment nous mettre un programme en place aussi pour les enfants qui ont montré qu'ils sont plus intelligents, passer l'âge, passer classe, pour nous challenger aussi, pour ne pas, because les élèves ça can slip nous, et vous taper en grade K, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, team là, très intelligent, quand ils arrivent first form en high school, mon cas dit, bon, mais il était tellement bon en primary school ça qui fait parce que nous qui t'ai joué, nous qui t'ai fait tout bitin, et bien, il connaît ça tout ça.
Le ministère a dit qu'il a mis un programme ensemble pour aider des enfants qui savent. Il dit nous, raison pour ça.
Ces enfants-là, ils n'ont pas qu'à développer study habits. Parce que ils ont regardé, oh, même si tu as dit test tomorrow, you pas study, you still tape 100. So, ils n'ont pas qu'à développer study habits. So, là, ils vivent en place, le travail là, nécessité qu'ils ont assez de study, ils n'ont pas ni discipline ça là. So, nous regardons comment nous avons ces programmes, ces enfants-là qui ont fait très bien aussi pour nous taper, pour challenger, mais aussi pour développer study habits parce que ils ont besoin de ça là pendant qu'ils sont petits. Si nous mettons les forme pour nous montrer study habits, il y a tout ça.
Le ministère des Finances, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, a dit l'argent pour les affaires climatiques est important pour Dominique. C'est important parce que Dominique et puis d'autres pays n'ont autant de challenges hors de désastres climatiques. Dominique a préparé pour taper $40 millions de l'argent climatique vert. Ça c'est pour ménager zone costale pays. Gouvernement content et faut organisation qui travaille pour transformer le développement et puis résilience Dominique. Plage Dominique et puis terre qui carbone et puis la mer, important en développement la pêche, agriculture et puis tourisme. Mon parlement pour Savanne, honorable Julian Difo, ni confiance mon constituency Savanne qui fait ça qui est nécessaire pour saison cyclone là. Saison cyclone là commence le 1er juin. Malgré nous ni beau temps, il n'y a autant soleil, mon ni pour vigilant. Yoka prisonnier qui saison cela yoka ni 4 pour 7 cyclones qui mauvais. Gouvernement j'ai bâti autant maisons qui résilient après cyclone Maria. Ça c'est tout à ce nouvelle en créole. Non, Monsieur General Jacob. Au revoir.
As we're in the midst of a hurricane season, it's crucial to take proactive steps to protect yourself and your family. For today's hurricane tip, reinforce windows and doors. Install storm shutters or board-up windows with plywood to prevent debris from shattering glass. Reinforce doors with proper locks and bolts to withstand strong winds. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I am Adicia. Thank you for watching.